All right, as they all come in, I'm just gonna keep rolling my face for a minute. It's looking a little full today. Welcome everyone to our December webinar. I'm so excited for this one, and I know a lot of y'all are too, because we're going to be talking about recruiting. We're going to be talking about actual salaries, all the things that people don't really want to talk about. But before we jump into that, I want to thank you all for joining our 2025 webinar series. I knew December was going to be low. I have not done December in the past. This is my first time doing it. But I know a lot of people watch the replay, so I'm excited for the ones who have joined. Would love to hear what you all are binging on TV these days. Oh, here, look, Stephanie already knows in the chat. So she's like, I already know they're going to get to this. And I already told the girls, I was like, y'all got to watch the P. Diddy documentary because it's insane. It's insane. What are y'all watching?
Oh my God. So All Her Fault. I don't know if anybody's seen that. It's like a
Is it
short.
on Netflix?
It is on
Is it Hulu?
Peacock.
Oh,
I don't, it's
There's
on,
like so many streaming services. Okay.
I think it might be on Peacock. It's like 8 episodes and it's insane.
it's insane.
Okay.
It
Okay.
is like you get sucked in the first 5 seconds of it, and like you just can't turn, like you literally can't turn it off. My son and I sat, we were just going to watch a couple episodes. We watched it till 4:30 in the morning one night. I was like, okay, I have a life to live. Like we have to turn this off, and then
Yes.
we need to find another time to finish it. But it was so good. So yeah.
Okay. And then Christine, what are you watching?
I'm watching Mayor of Kingstown right now, and it's
That's an
very
old
good.
one.
Yeah,
The one with
it's a
Kate
little
Winslet?
dark. It's a little dark. Say that again.
Is that the one with Kate Winslet? No, I'm
Uh,
thinking of something
no,
else. Okay, I'm thinking of
Well, don't
something else.
ask me names of actors. Like
Okay.
we know I don't know names of actors. But it's a little dark. It's like a town, and it's all about like the whole town and all their business is about like the prison system. Anyway, it's dark
Okay. Well,
things and
good.
but it's I've been watching it till like midnight, 1 in the morning every night because there's like 4 seasons. So
So are you guys Hallmark Christmas movie people? I am not.
yes,
You
Yes.
are. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
Oh,
I
do
haven't
you?
done it yet
yeah.
this year.
Yeah. We haven't, I mean, we started watching them, like probably in October, just because they start coming out, and we do a lot of the ones on Netflix. And
Yeah.
honestly, we had seen every single thing. So we've watched some, but like Jonas Brothers came out, watched it, whatever it
I heard
is.
that was really good. I heard that was really good. It is, I like the Netflix cheesy Christmas movies.
Yes.
I would love to be in a Hallmark movie in
You
my next.
should be. You would be
Honestly, I
good.
should just go
I
for
mean,
it, guys. It
your life
sounds fun.
is kind of a Hallmark movie. I mean, we
Yeah,
could
yeah.
we could pitch it.
I
I
like
love
it.
it. So, and there's also some other good suggestions in our chat. But let's go ahead and get to our webinar. I think I knew Natalie first over LinkedIn. We probably just met on LinkedIn. Is that right? Oh
I
no,
think
we also met in person.
yeah, we met at C-SPAN in Nashville
Okay,
a
a
couple
couple
years
years ago.
ago,
Yeah.
and where we may not be as memorable, who can forget you? So I feel like we go way back, but
Love it.
for you, you're just meeting us.
Well, I am glad to have met you because you guys, we do share each other's LinkedIn's often because you guys are often recruiting. You're looking for people to hire. And I know a lot of people, so we're constantly going back and forth there. But I would love for y'all to tell our audience a little bit about your agency, what you do, and the history of that. Christine, you're the founder.
I am. Yeah. I started back in 2002. My friend had done recruiting in the medical space, like lab sales and stuff like that. And one of his VPs of sales went to Westwood College and Alta colleges. And he was having a lot of turnover with like their field reps at that time. And so he brought my ex partner into the recruiting field, really in education. And he wasn't as like passionate about it. I was just about to have a baby. I'm like, I can do this. So this was in 2002. So I kind of figured out how to do recruiting and helped Westwood really with all of their rep hires. And then as people became managers and moved to different schools, it grew. And 2005, I found Natalie. And then she became a partner in 2006. Yeah. And
Okay.
we've been doing it ever since. Yeah. And we went from doing reps to all the director levels. We do instructors, VP, C-level. We really do it all and across the whole country. And
I mean, and it grew organically because, as I know, you probably know from being in this industry, I can't believe we have a blower right outside our window. So I don't know if that's distracting.
We can't hear it. We can't.
Okay, it's like it's a lot. Anyway, it grew organically because, as Christine said, like some of the reps become directors, and then they go from one school to another, and then took our business there, and so it just grew and grew. And in 2005, 2006, that was like the glory days, right? Like schools were booming, and it was just everything was booming.
And we worked a lot with big box schools in those days. Yeah, like we did a lot of DeVry, CEC, ITT. Okay. Like those were probably our main clients at that time. And then it's evolved over time because I think in order for us to be, more successful, the more we can be in tune with like the ownership and the management level versus like going through the internal recruiters, we can be more successful because we get a real good pulse of like the culture of the organizations. Obviously, like a DOA, the roles are similar, but from school to school, just based on the culture, it can be very different. And who fits where. It's different. So,
and then to be clear for our audience, which is mostly beauty schools, we actually know a lot of mutual schools because you guys work with a lot of beauty schools as well.
Yeah, we do work with a lot of the beauty schools.
So in the career space, and a lot of it is the same. Like we go to the conferences, allied health, very similar. I mean, if you are an admissions rep at an HVAC school, you can be an admissions rep easily at a beauty school. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And because specifically things like HVAC or welding and beauty schools, like their passion programs, like those people are walking in the building and they're like, this is what I want to do. Right. And so there's never a question. Like sometimes in the beginning, like Westwood, for instance, going back there, they had, some allied health, and they had like criminal justice, or they had, different business or whatever. So students are coming in and the admissions people are trying to help them sort of hone in on what their path might be, or people could change their process or whatever. But you go to a massage school or Cosmo school or welding or automotive or, and even nursing, it's like people walk in the door and they're like, this is what I want to do. This is my path. And so they're all very transferable from school to school in that regard.
I agree. And just so we're clear too, you guys kind of serve two areas where you work with schools specifically. So you work with school owners, directors to help fill roles, but you also work with individuals who might be looking to switch to a role, right? So like a DOA or a director could reach out to you guys to be like, hey, I'm looking for a new opportunity.
Yeah, we do both.
Okay, perfect. And I think we probably have, go ahead.
Sorry. As I say, for the most part, essentially we work for the schools,
right?
But we have the connections with the candidates. And so we do have a lot of people, especially doing this for over 20 years. We have a lot of people who reach out and say, hey, I might be open to something new. And so we can then reach out to our network and see
if anybody's
who
looking,
might be needing something.
Yeah.
Maybe you should talk to this person even if you aren't looking, because you never know what could be on the horizon. It's not an immediate kind of thing. So that
makes sense. And I believe we probably have both on this call. We probably have people who work at a school who are on here who are like, get me out of here. Full transparency. And we probably have a lot of people who are looking to hire. And so instead of being a matchmaking service where I can be like, jump in the comments if you're looking for a job, I just felt like it would be great to have you guys on here to sort of like answer some of these questions. And we're going to get, I have a whole list of questions, y'all, that I'm going to be asking very bluntly, including like how much we pay in these days. All the way up into different, types of recruitment. But if you have questions too that you want to ask these women, feel free to jump into our comments per usual. Let's go ahead and start by looking overall at the job market. We just completed 2025. We're going into 2026. How's the job market looking for schools? Are we seeing lots of open positions? Are we seeing pretty much nothing out there? What's it look like?
I would say it's pretty normal this time of year. I think there's open positions. Some schools go on a little bit of a pause for a moment, but maybe they're starting some processes like forecasting ahead to January, February, March, what they're going to be doing there because they're closing their books, they're doing budgets, how much money do they have to hire, what are they doing, are they opening campuses? So you might have a little bit of a pause like the last couple weeks of December, but we already have people talking to us about what they're looking for potentially coming up in the first quarter. So we have our eyes out, and maybe we're not starting like interview processes, but we're starting to connect with people at this point.
And
So
an interesting thing, sort of the trend that has kind of found its way through 2025 for us, which I think has been different compared to years prior, is we've done a lot of like instructors and academic level program directors, much more so than we have in the past, where sometimes, and it's interesting because sometimes we're working on admissions and like everybody wants an admissions director, or then all of a sudden people want financial aid.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm working on 3 financial aid directors right now. I didn't have any 6 weeks ago, and now everybody wants one. And they're not, I mean, some are actually in the same part of the world, but then one's over here. I mean, we work nationwide. So, but yeah, we've done a lot of instructors this year, which we had not done before. And maybe that's because we sort of opened our doors to it. So maybe.
And programs are expanding. I mean, I know that like in the schools that we're working with, they're booming. So like their student population is growing, so they need more classes and more instructors. Like, I mean, there's a client that we are hiring instructors always.
Yeah.
Like they're just growing.
That's good to know that you guys do. Do you do instructors for beauty schools as well?
I mean,
we have, yeah.
We have not a ton, but we have.
Yeah.
But again, if that's the trend, that's what we're
going to go there and do it. We have the network.
Yeah. Doing something new every day. Look at us here.
I know. And that does seem to be obviously always a shortage for schools, or like they want to start like a barbering program, but then they're like, no, I'm going to have to get a barbering instructor. And like kind of starting programs from scratch can be really difficult. Are you seeing a trend with people hiring outside of like, let's say even beauty schools, or are there swapping going on? Is swapping still a thing where this
swapping is always going on?
It's always going to be a thing.
Always a thing. I mean, that's sort of the beauty and the curse of this industry as a whole.
Okay.
It's a very incestuous business, especially in Florida for some reason.
Oh, okay.
I mean, honestly, like everyone in Florida has worked at least 5 schools in the area. I mean, I don't know why that is, but yeah, that's kind of a thing in Florida.
That's also funny though, because I remember, I used to work for an association, American Association of Cosmetology Schools, and I remember owners being like, I don't like sending my staff here because like they're going to get poached. They're going to get like recruited. And that probably is true. Like if you're really good, you're going to get job offers. Pay them more, make them stay. Like, hello.
Well, and to that comment, yes, money is important, but what I have found always is culture will win over salary every day. So you could pay someone, because there are some organizations out there that will pay a ton of money, but you can easily remove them and pay them less to take them somewhere where they'll be happy. So it's culture.
And a good life balance is super important today. I mean,
more
so in the last 5 years than ever. And like some flexibility, maybe even with like, I mean, doing maybe a day of remote work and stuff like that really is something that people look for. I mean, that's hard to do a lot of times.
It's hard to do, especially with cosmetology.
Yeah. And our schools are mostly going back to in-person, but really the life work balance. Because I know back in even the glory days, like people worked very hard in many hours in schools and like weekends and evening shifts. And, people want to have a life and not it to be just about work.
I think that's great. I mean, I do wish schools would focus more on culture. I think a lot of times, not just staff recruitment, and I mean student recruitment. I mean, people think like my conversion rate's lower, and I'm like, stop looking at your leads. What does your culture look like? Like, what are people saying online? Are your students happy? Do people even want to be there? Because the culture, I really think, is hurting a lot of schools today. Is that something that's important to owners when you talk to them about finding like director level positions?
It depends on the school. I will say some of the smaller, like family-owned schools will say what they want and that they want to impact change somehow, and they want to bring in leaders who can do that. But because it's sort of their baby, they really don't want someone to come in and change
It's
anything.
hard to let go when
because because they
Yeah.
want it done their way, but then they want something to be different, but you can't make it different unless you allow it to be different. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh,
yes,
man,
but
exactly.
we will have those conversations with the folks that we know well and the people that we know better than some others, because you can't really tell someone you don't really know. By the way,
Yeah.
this isn't really working for you. But I mean, I do have some people that I've known for many years, and I'm like, this isn't working. You can't do it this way, or this person isn't going to stay if you can't
allow
A,
them
B,
to
and
make
C.
shit. Yeah.
Right. So
There's something too about y'all being almost like this outside third party where you can say that to a school and it not be
absolutely.
super offensive, right? Like it's one thing for an admissions director to tell the owner, like, I don't like working here because of A, B, and C. And it's different to have someone like y'all come in and be like, people aren't going to want to work there because of A, B, and C.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about having an outside agency is
Yeah.
like even in the offer process and all of that, like we take that so it doesn't become uncomfortable between the hire whoever they're going to hire and the employer. Like we work the angles on both, on the outside, so like there's no awkwardness there. And same thing, we can coach. Like if a person 30 days in, we check in, 60 days, we check in, 90 days, we check in. If there's an issue, we can obviously go back to our client and be like, this is something you could do to maybe help, or maybe there's some coaching that needs to happen here, or they didn't get trained on this, or so we can try to make the relationship work and continue, that they stay at the employer.
So curious, and I don't want to get to I don't want to get to salaries yet, but do you ever like when you're having those conversations with the owners of like, you're not paying enough? Like, we're not going to be able to find you someone like
Absolutely.
that happens all the time. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Especially if they want champagne on a beer budget. We're like,
right.
okay. I mean,
So
I
you
can get
guys
you
are like the realistic people.
for this. Yeah.
It's very much, I mean, the conversation a lot of times is you get what you pay for.
Right.
You're going to
very
get,
true.
You're not going to get A talent on a C budget.
Right.
You're just not.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll send them a variety, like we'll send them, okay, this is what's going to cost this. So they can see this is what's going to cost you this, and this is what you want to pay. We'll give you one of each. Right. You interview them, and then they're going to be like, but I want this one. I'm like, yeah, but that's going to cost you this.
BMW, you have a Chevy, and then you have a Kia.
Yeah.
You go on a test drive and you tell us which one you like. Right. So that's kind of how that goes.
Yeah.
So as far as like unemployment goes, are you finding today a lot of higher ed employees are unemployed? Are you having a bunch of employees reach out, or is it more so just that there are a bunch of open positions?
It mix a little. I mean, at one school just laid off some people.
Yeah, I mean, some schools, it depends. I've worked with a school recently where they thought they were growing and wanted to do things a certain way, so they hired several people, and then I just heard from them, a week ago that they just reorganized and they were laid off.
I wouldn't say there's like a ton of unemployed people right now.
Okay.
I mean, finding good talent is hard. And to get people to leave a situation to go to another situation, we have to, there has to be a selling point for them to leave, So when we talk to our clients, that's another thing that we do is like, why would somebody want to work for you versus everybody else who's your competition? Like, what makes you special? And how do we convey that to them that it would be in their benefit to come work for you?
Or what's so great about this location?
Right. Whatever it is. Yeah. And what are they walking into? I mean, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good, but maybe
some people like a challenge,
right? Like to turn things around. So it's finding the right fit. But I wouldn't say there's like more unemployed school people than
like. Side note, I kind of like a disaster. My husband and I, we've always talked about this. I feel like it's easier to take a school from D to B than A to A plus. Like, give me a train wreck, honestly. Like, give me a school that's failing, because I'm like, no matter what I do, I'm probably going to look great.
Right. Absolutely. Yes, for sure.
You make it better, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So how long generally do people stay in roles? What are you seeing? Admissions, financial aid, educators, directors? Are they all around the same? Because obviously in years past, people were much more loyal to companies. I hear millennials are like every 2.5 years, Gen Z sometimes less. What are you all seeing in the market today with how long people stay in a role?
I mean, the number one turnover position in this industry all over is admissions, right?
Okay.
Because it's a burnout role. Now, with that being said, I would say because of COVID and remote work and stuff like that, it I think has less of a turnover than before.
Yeah.
But even though people are back on campus, it really, you know what, honestly, it doesn't matter the position, it's the culture of the company. Because I've got admissions reps that have been places for, 6, 8 years, or they start there and then they grow in their role. So I placed them as an admissions rep, and now they're a senior director of admissions somewhere, and they've been there for 8 years. Our goal is, and I don't know if this differentiates us from other recruiting firms out there, because I know there's some out there that do things differently, but our goal is long-term fit. Yes, making money, whatever, that's just a side note. But for us to be able to, find the right person who's going to fit at the right location with the right management and fill that void for them and continue to grow as an employee and help grow the campus and things like that. Like, my favorite thing in life is to call someone who has progressed in their career with the company, and they're like, and it's all thanks to you. And I'm like, I know. So it's my favorite thing. Yeah. I mean, that is why I do this.
It happens quite a bit too.
Yeah, that's really, and when you were talking about how admissions has such high turnover because of burnout, also, if you're in admissions, you're good at sales. And a lot of sales jobs out there are commission, and admissions
they make
not.
more money doing
Like, let's be honest, if you're really, really good at sales, you're going to kill it in admissions, and you can probably make way more in a commission-based job.
Right.
But it depends, because a lot of people, so one of the things I always ask people, like, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. And one of the very first things I ask them is, how did you get involved in this? And how did you get involved in this sector, in this industry? Because most people that I have found fall into it by accident, right? And like 90% of the time, that is the case. And people say, oh, I was doing this or that. I didn't even know what it was.
It's an industry.
I get into it. And it took my love of sales and my love of making a difference. And people who are in missions want to make a difference. It's not about the people who are like sales. Yes, they probably move on and go get a commission sales job somewhere. But the people who are passionate about changing lives, those are the ones who will be in this industry, excel in this industry, and stay in this industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. And I see that every day in my line of work. I see it looking at the attendees. I can see a couple right now where I'm like, they could probably, we talked about this, be pharmaceutical reps and freaking kill it, right? I was telling them before, like, my biggest regret in life is not being a pharmaceutical rep. I feel like I really would have killed that. And it's too late for me now. Too old, my hair is too short. I took out
We can fix that though.
Yeah, we can always put my rose back in, and I can go back to that. But that said, it really does come down to, like, when I talk to these girls, it's like they love what they do. They light up. They love helping someone pursue a passion.
Right.
And I really wish owners could see that. Like, to be quite frank, I feel like, and I'm always speaking on behalf of admissions people, but I see so many owners that don't appreciate it. I'm like, y'all have someone passionate sitting right there that loves this job so much and loves the school more than you. Like, I feel like you love the money more. They actually love these students. And I wish
those are the people who will stick it out, even though the culture sucks.
Right.
Yes.
They don't feel appreciated. They don't feel valued, but they love the job and the students so much. They will stick it out, even though they hate everything else around them. I've seen it time and time again. And those are the people that I can pluck from there and put somewhere else, because if I find somewhere that they're going to be valued for what they do and have that same connection with students,
they're going to be so successful.
They're going to do it.
Yeah, those are the unicorns that you guys are probably, as recruiters, dying to connect with.
Right. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Let's talk about remote work, because I hear it all the time. There's so many people that, and I see it on LinkedIn, like they want to go to remote. Are you seeing that less and less since COVID? And are there any roles in a school that you believe can still be remote?
It's definitely less than it was. I mean, even the people wanting
Right.
remote
I
work,
mean,
it's not as realistic. So I think they're
for
going back.
me, yeah, I mean, the schools want people back on campus.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're a people business. And you work remotely and you lose that connection with people.
Right.
And there is something about working as a team together on a campus. I mean, we work here. We don't have to work in an office. We can do this from anywhere, but we like being together because if you have something, I mean, we have to finish each other's sentences 90% of the time anyway, especially as we get older.
It gets worse.
But I mean, there is something about working together
In person, you're just
yes.
constantly collaborating. Like you can't
Yeah.
do that. I mean, you can be like, write down a note. Oh, I'm going to tell this person this later, but then
Or like you've got a student that's coming in that has an issue and like it's not something you can maybe immediately solve, but you're like, give me a second. And then you can go talk to a colleague or somebody else down the hall or somebody, or you can shout something out or whatever. I mean, we're in the people business. You need more people to stay in the people business.
Collaboration, I think, is
and it works with, it helps the
your
culture.
team is going to help. Yeah.
You all have been in this business for over 20 years. I'm going to ask you straight up, should admissions be remote? Should admissions people be touring people, let's say at a beauty school remotely?
No.
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 Mm-hmm.
I mean, do I think there are pieces of it that can be done remotely? Sure. The bulk of the position needs to be on campus.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're old school.
I was just gonna say,
I mean, like,
but like you said,
I have to think of like my kids are 20 and 25. Could they watch a remote video of a tour, and would that be enough for them? Maybe. I mean, they're a different generation.
Right.
Like I would want to go in person, and
Yeah.
I think the new up and comers could probably do that.
I think up to a certain
situation.
point, like if you have a call center outreach person whose job is to set appointments, sure.
Mhm.
Like that, I think that can be a remote job.
Like I
But
said, there are pieces.
Yeah.
there's something so powerful about walking someone through a school, and it can't be a teacher. Like the admissions person is the salesperson. Like
Right.
they're the ones that had that relationship to begin with.
Right.
So to walk you through the school and bring you back into the office and be like, are you ready to do this? Like,
Right.
does this look like
It's
the
different.
fit for you? It is. It hits
Different. And there's a
You're more
if I'm
bought in.
remote and I'm doing it online, I'm less, I don't feel as bought into the
Yeah.
whole thing, and I can tell you whatever, it's easier. But if I've walked into the school, I've made the effort to drive my car, find a
Yeah.
parking spot, walk in, I'm really invested in wanting to do this. And I feel like it's just,
I mean,
you're
that
gonna have a
is
better success
part
rate.
of the sales process, right?
Yeah.
For anybody who's been in sales, like, you know, you need 3 yeses, right? One of those yeses is getting that person in the car to come meet with you, because
Sure.
are they interested? Yes, they made the effort to come there.
Right.
You're halfway there,
Right.
right? Like at this point, you just have to overcome any objections.
Right.
And like Christine said, like you can't necessarily get to that point if someone's not with you, you know, in a tangible sense. Yes, it's an intangible sale, but the people and knowing, and I know a lot of the people I have worked with talk about having those relationships as an admissions rep and watching that person
Mhm.
come in that first day and then watching them graduate and walk across that stage, and they're still connected with
And they
them
see them
years after graduation.
Yeah.
And that's why they do it, right?
Right.
And those people, we walk it down the hallway and they'll come in and say hi to them
Right.
and tell them how they're doing. And like, it's nice as human beings to have that connection.
Yeah. And we're
That's
lacking
part of
it.
the culture, you know, again, that we're talking about. That's how you create that culture. And I will tell you, the chat is going crazy in agreement that they believe that that is the difference. Anthony, I agree with you. Admissions needs to be the first person they talk to and the last person they talk to. Even if you sandwich that in there with FA, it always comes back to admissions. And that's why admissions is probably a really hard position to fill. Like you got to have, you know, a couple of those X factors. I want to talk a little bit about employers, people that don't use outside services like you guys. What are they using? LinkedIn, Indeed? Like what are people, remember Monster?
Yes, career builder, monster. Yeah.
Like, what are people using?
I
I think
mean,
Indeed is probably the most
Indeed and
common, and
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where
Okay,
they.
Indeed and LinkedIn. And what are they looking for? Are people ever looking for entry level for some of these positions, or
Oh,
do
sure.
they generally come to you and say, "Hey guys, I need experience. I need people that can just run on their
Oh,
own."
We'll do both. I
it's
mean,
both.
sometimes we'll persuade people to go more from like a green, somebody who doesn't have any sales experience, maybe a college grad who's worked 2 jobs while they're in college, a go-getter. They've been in sports, but like they're ready to take their first career move. We might persuade them to go in that direction versus somebody who has 10 years of admissions experience, depending if they have a good onboarding and training program. Kind of, we have to see what they have in place to be able to, springboard that person into success. But it depends. I mean, we
Right.
kind of see all of it.
It's both.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
on every level.
Yeah.
And so if you are an admissions rep at a one campus school, you might not have director title because it's a one campus school. You might have director title, you might not. But if you've been there for a long time and you're phenomenal, would you be able to place that person in a DOA position at a different campus, at a different school, or generally
Depends. It depends
you
on
need
the
to have
school. I
a
Yeah.
mean,
And
okay.
did they manage people?
I
Did
mean,
they
as a
not?
one person show, that becomes a little more challenging unless they have some previous management experience, like maybe in retail or something.
Okay.
So getting into a director role, if they're going to be managing people, they want to have some sort of management experience behind them. And sometimes it doesn't matter where the management experience comes from.
Right.
Like if they have a good solid admissions base
Hmm.
and some
Have
previous management experience,
That's fair.
sometimes that's enough,
Yeah.
because as you know, I mean, admissions, there's like 400 things, and a lot of times you have to be able to lead by example, but you also have to be able to manage people and processes
Right. And
before you,
expectations and all that.
because
Yeah.
otherwise you're just getting
Yeah.
set up to fail.
Yeah.
You've
No,
got
that makes total
on your
sense.
plate.
Yeah.
What about directors? I know there are owners on this call today that are looking for director level positions. What are some of those qualities that you would tell them to start looking for in candidates or experience that maybe they hadn't considered?
For directors,
Of admissions.
like directors of
No,
admission,
directors of sorry,
campus,
school directors,
Oh,
management
okay.
school directors.
what would they be looking for? Is that
What type of person, what type of things should they be looking for? Because I feel like they just pretty much look right now is yes, experience is one, but what are some of those X factors where you're like, this director is great because they're gritty or sociable, or what is it about a director that makes someone really, really good?
I mean, I think a lot of times too in this business, if they've like worked their way up and they know a little bit
Different
about each of the
positions.
departments within a
I
school, I
like
mean,
that.
they can make somebody have a little bit more of an X factor than somebody else. But
I mean, a beauty school, to have someone who has worked behind a chair is important.
mhm.
Those people tend to make good directors. I mean,
Or
they
run a
have
salon.
they have not
Yeah.
just done that. Like they have experience in a school, like Christine said, they kind of work their way up. But somebody who has the experience, of working behind a chair, so they know how to convey that to their academic staff or down to the students. Somebody who's involved with the campus as a whole, not just somebody who's going to sit in an office and say, I'm the director and I've been doing this for a while and watch me direct. Like
Right.
that's not usually, I mean, can that be successful? Absolutely. It depends on the environment and the culture that that organization has built. It can be successful. I don't think it's a perfect culture. I don't think that that type of organization is going to have long-term staff there, because those kinds of places tend to turn people a lot, because you sort of have somebody sitting here saying, I'm here and you must do these things, and they more
Right.
like delegate. And
Yeah, I think being like
Yeah,
hands,
right,
all
you have to be
hands on, like
involved.
you can do all of it. If you have to take out the trash, you're gonna take out the trash. Like you're part of the team. You're not like, I don't know. I find that the more you're able to do all of the different tasks and be
Yeah,
involved
I
with
agree.
everybody at all levels, I mean, those are the unicorns because they almost treat it like their own business.
Right.
They take ownership and pride in what they're doing, and that's we find that through we have them do homework. We do multiple calls with them. There's a lot of vetting on our side to really see who they are and how bought in they are in the industry or in the position and all of that. So
Okay, awesome. And then are there certain things like that are turn offs to you guys? What about someone who job hops, or are you
Yes.
sympathetic to that because
It
cultures
depends.
aren't
depends.
great? Yeah.
It depends. But I mean, Christine touched on this a second ago, but we have part of our vetting process is we have our candidates do what we call homework.
Okay.
And so when we have a call with them, we do like an initial call, we learn about their background and, find out if it's something, if they have the skills and abilities to do the job. I mean, that's first and foremost, right? And then you talk a little bit about the organization and the culture and see if it's something that
Makes sense for them.
that
right.
would fit on both
Matches,
sides.
right.
And then if everyone decides this is something worth pursuing, we send them our homework email that'll have a link to the school's website, a job description if there is one. Sometimes there's not, but they've been doing the job and they don't need it. And then we will have them, answer questions. They're never hard questions. And it's kind of the same questions, whether you're a rep or a CEO. It's, why are you interested in this job? Why would you be good at this job? What have you done that relates to this? How do you define your management? And our favorite question, I mean, not intentionally, but it has over the years become a favorite question. Like, what would you want a hiring manager to know about you that's not on your resume? And as you can imagine, you get all kinds of answers.
Well, there's been some good ones.
Give me a good one. What's something good that you can remember?
That recent one that was funny.
I mean, I can't even. I mean, sometimes people, they say some weird personal things, or, I don't know.
They tell you they're binging the Puff Daddy documentary, and they're like, "He killed
right."
Biggie.
Or, when I was young, I had 3 rabbits, and one of them, was, I don't know. People say weird things.
Weird things, yeah.
But and so when somebody returns that homework, you can see
a lot about the person.
You can tell how interested are they? Like, do they turn it around right away? And how interested are they? How much effort do they put into answering these questions? Yeah. And for me, I have a degree in public relations and journalism. So
she's the grammar police.
Yeah, I want to know.
Don't do your the wrong way. You will be in trouble.
I was going to say, can they submit a video then? Because I mean, I would submit a video because I feel like that would be my
we used to do video interviews.
We did video interviews like this was 10 years ago before the technology was really there.
The green interview.
Yeah, and it was like, so candidates would talk to no one, right? The question would populate on the screen and then they would have to answer it.
It's good stuff.
Wow.
I bet that
we
was
did that for Delta. Do you remember Delta? Delta Education?
Miller Motts.
Before
they became. Yes. Uh-huh.
So we did all of their hiring. We hired 40 campuses, and we would do all of the interviews on recorded interviews.
That's funny. That's it. I feel like that would just be fun to watch. Like, let's grab the popcorn, Christine.
Sometimes we were in stitches,
crying, laughing.
But I mean, back to the deal breaker things, like if they can't communicate in a written or verbal way, then that is a question mark. If
it takes them 2 weeks to get the homework back, bye-bye. You're not really interested in it.
If somebody is just bad mouthing a previous employer and the job hoppy thing is pretty much a deal breaker, but sometimes having been in this industry so long, we know that place closed, that place closed, that place
I was going to say, you can probably see the places they worked at and you have like insight. You're like, oh, they were a mess.
Sometimes we're like, okay, that's a hard place to work.
But there's the blessing and the curse for the candidate side, because we've been doing this for so long that we will get information from someone and I'm like, I think so.
Yeah.
So I'll look in the database and I'll see a completely different resume. Or I have notes from somebody who said something completely different about this person. So transparency is always great. We understand things happen, life happens, but it's going to be a much better place for all of us if you can share what happened. And then there's those people that reach out, and I'm sorry if any of those people are on this call, but if it's like 6 months, a year, 8 months, 4 months, we're just not even wasting our time.
No.
And
Yeah.
they're not going to pay for
Right.
somebody like that.
Exactly.
Maybe they would hire that person on their own, but they're not. We're
It's
not
a
doing
Well,
zero
like you
risk.
said, you're looking to place people long term, and you
Right.
know that that person just doesn't even have that potential. Becky wants to know, she wrote in the chat that she sees an average of 2 years for admissions reps. Does that sound about right?
That's probably about right.
Probably.
Yeah,
On
and like you
average.
said, it also really depends on the culture and the place because you've
Mhm.
seen it much longer
Yeah.
with certain places. All right, we are going to get into salaries. This is something that I've brought up before on webinars earlier this year that honestly owners don't super feel comfortable coming on and sharing with me exactly what they pay with other owners being on it or whatever. I did have an owner webinar where I was able to get what they pay their they were able to tell me what they paid instructors, but I kind of want to see what the average is. My guess is it's probably you're going to get paid more in California than you would in Ohio. Is that correct? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope so.
so
We do
but
cost of living adjustments.
where
Yeah.
you live does matter. I want to hear like everything from like big schools to small schools. Do people know beauty school is going to pay less than an allied health school? Salaries all over the board. What can you share with us? Director level, admissions level, financial aid?
Excuse me.
So obviously, location is a big factor.
Okay.
We work with all types of schools. Beauty schools pay the least. And I think part of it is they're smaller schools. The programs probably cost less than, like a nursing program or things like that. But yeah, the cosmetology schools pay the least. And I mean, I've worked with some schools that are similar in size, a few hundred students, 300 to 400 students, beauty school and allied health school, same size. Campus directors at the beauty school are going to make, maybe 75 to 90,000, where the allied health school is going to make
90 to 120,
90,
140,
right. Yeah,
somewhere, depending where they are.
Okay.
So, similar with DOAs, I would say for beauty schools is somewhere in the 60 to 80K range. And that depends, that'll vary based on, is it a single campus? How many reps are they managing? What's the size of it? I mean, is it a 50 student school? Is it a 250 student school? Do they have 3 people reporting up to them? Or some of them have multiple locations and there's like 1 rep at each school, and
they're managing all
traveling
of them.
or how, I mean, there's a lot of variables that go into a director of admissions role, depending on the size of the school, organization, structure, what have you.
If it's 1 rep at like a 150 to 200 population school, 1 rep who wears all hats. They do outreach. They do it all. They do the high school tours, which is generally what we see in beauty schools. We generally do
So
not.
they don't have anybody underneath them.
No, they don't. They are the 1 hat doing it all.
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably 70 plus minus, right? Like
I would say 60 to 70 for that.
Yeah. I mean, could they go higher?
Like in the Bay Area, maybe it's more like an 80 because the cost of living is crazy. But
like 60
in
to 80,
Ohio, 60 to 70 would be where I would think that would be.
And there is a glass ceiling. There comes a time, like you could be at a school for 10 years and it's like, you're not going to get paid $200,000. Like this is,
no.
There comes a time where this is how much you get paid and you've reached.
And that's the other thing with beauty schools, more specifically, I mean, outside of like Empire, for instance, they're usually single owner, family owners, smaller, organizations, and there's not a lot of growth, right? Like your DOA and there's a campus director or school director and there's an owner. Like, where are you going? Right. And for some people,
maybe into the campus director at some point, but that person could be there their whole life.
Right. Like they started the school or whatever. And for some people, that's great because, as we discussed, this is their passion. These are their students. These are their people.
They love what they do.
This is my hometown.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like work. Like they know how to do the job. It comes easy to them.
Yeah. And that's what they want to do. Right. And for them, that's it. Right.
And then financial aid, generally the same as admissions or less?
Much less.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. I've never understood it. Financial aid and career services. I mean, yes, understood. Admissions
it's bringing
gets your students in the door, but without the financial aid and the career services, what are you even doing? But like financial aid is like 50 to 65, maybe.
I mean, I have always heard that besides the director of a school, admissions is the highest paid person in the building.
Yes, correct.
100%.
Yeah, you are correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
and sometimes depending on the organization, admissions directors make more than the school.
Yeah. And campus director, what do they get paid?
Again,
I mean, for the same type of school,
Sure,
like a
let's
school,
go same type of school.
80 to 90.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
could
and
be
do they get bonus?
75.
They could get bonus. It depends on the school. I
They
mean,
typically don't.
not in beauty
They typically
schools.
don't. Okay. Okay.
That would be a good way to like incentivize and
Right.
keep people with you if the other schools aren't doing it. Because a lot of schools do that, like Allied Health and stuff will do that.
Yeah, I've never
But-
worked with a beauty school that has given a bonus that I can think of for a
Okay.
campus director or any position. I mean, in our current setting, right? Like back in the glory days, everybody got bonuses and
And commission and whatever.
Yeah,
No,
but-
totally. Yeah. And Amanda
I mean,
actually just asked a question.
Admissions reps were commissioned. Yeah.
Yeah, Amanda asked a question that was next on my list. It's so funny because I feel like 6 months ago, I texted about 15 school owners asking them, are your admissions reps salary or hourly? And it was exactly half. Half said salary,
Really?
half said hourly. Curious what you guys see for directors, FA, admissions. Are you seeing salary or hourly?
the
Most-
rep level is hourly.
Yeah.
Rep
Like
level is usually hourly
financial aid and admissions,
and admissions.
all director stuff is salary.
Salaried. Yeah.
I mean, even if it's a single, in our experience with folks that we worked for,
Yeah.
directors, even if they're like a one person show, they are typically salary.
Salaried. Yeah.
Okay. And we did
Because-
talk about that glass ceiling where like there's only so much a school has to give toward a salary. So what else can schools do, y'all? Like, can you give us like more PTO? Like what type of having Fridays off if there's I always tell people, listen, if they hit their enrollment numbers, if they're doing well, give them a Friday off. Like do
Yeah,
what you
all of
can,
that stuff.
right?
It's the culture.
It's the culture.
piece.
Yeah. And give
Yeah.
them the life work balance. I mean,
Yeah.
anything that is going to make their
You know.
life better is going to make them want to stay there. 'Cause
A remote day where you do the remote stuff, right? The setting appointments, the making the calls, like you can do that and then come back to campus and do your
have a wellness benefit. They can use it for a gym. They can use it
Yes,
for
love
whatever
that.
they need. I mean, anything you can do that's going to separate you from your competition as far as your package or what you offer, how they feel about going to work and how they feel like you feel about them, is going to help you keep your people. Because not many people, a lot of people in the school business, I mean, not a lot of people, but sometimes it's just the bottom line, and they get caught up in that and they forget about like the culture and how to get
The
back to the
human
people
side,
who like
right.
make them
Yeah.
successful. So the more you can do that, I think the better.
Right. I mean, and
I mean, little things.
remember,
Bring in lunch on,
Right.
one day a month and stuff like
Totally.
let them
Yes.
casual or something one day. I mean, all those little things, you don't understand how much people appreciate that and they add up and they don't always cost you very much.
and
you
some
know?
autonomy, like if you're hiring the right people, they should be grown-ups and should be able to get their job done.
Right.
Right. So as you
No
mentioned,
micromanage.
right, like if they're getting their job done, like let them do their job. And then if they need to like
Pick
leave
up a kid
early
from
and pick
school,
up a child
right.
or something, they should be allowed to do that because it gives them like they're not going to want to go somewhere where they don't have that flexibility.
I agree.
Even if, it could be the same whatever, but like if the management where you are trusts you and believes in you and knows that you're doing your job, that speaks so much more than compensation. Now,
Right.
obviously compensation
Right.
is always nice, but
Yeah.
to have somebody like trust is a big thing.
Yeah.
If
And
you
just the
if
little
people
things.
believe in you.
Yeah, you give back. It's big.
Yeah.
And bonus, and if you have a great year and they know you do because they're watching what's happening. I mean, if you could give a bonus and something like that is always very much appreciated.
I mean, being valued, there's a lot, it goes a long way being valued. Just
Yeah.
little things, bringing in coffee or whatever. Hey, you guys.
Or
did
for
a great-
God's sake, please just remember their birthday. Like, can we
Right,
just
right.
put it on a calendar? Like something so simple like that really
Simple.
does. Yeah,
Right.
it goes a long way. I meant to ask y'all this sooner. What are schools doing relocation wise? Would they pay relocation costs for a director or DOA or?
They do. It's not as much as it was in the glory days. The beauty schools tend to offer less, just generally based on the size of the school. For
Mhm.
us, we tend to try to find people locally,
Okay.
because what you do find is if somebody picks up from North Carolina and moves to Arizona just for a job, there's nothing keeping them there. And so their family is over there. And while they thought this job was great, it really doesn't feel good. They miss home, whatever, and they leave and they go back. So unless somebody has a reason like, oh, my grandma lives out in Arizona and so does my sister.
Or I'm trying to get back to family
Yeah.
and I want to get back
Yeah.
there. Those
I
are
mean,
good reasons.
Those
of
are
course.
reasons to be. I mean, yes, there are the single people who work is their life and they will go anywhere and do anything. And this is a great opportunity and I cannot wait. Sure. Those people, and there's always the outliers, but for the most part, we try to keep people local, or they have to have a reason to be somewhere, because otherwise
They don't stay. Yeah.
it's a flight risk,
Yeah.
for lack of a better.
And I would say, like, for relocation, I would say on, like, generally speaking, 2 to 5 grand is typically what we'll see,
Okay.
unless it's like a big school and then there's some crazy relocation.
What were the
but
glory days? What could we have got way back when?
I mean, like
10 to
ITT
15.
did 20% of your salary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like Bryant Stratton, I think, would give you a month of compensation, like in your check over the next 2 things, and then they would give you like a month of temporary housing. There was some. I mean, West Coast University does
Crazy.
amazing
Right.
relocation,
But they're
still.
huge. I mean,
Right.
that's a whole different
Yeah.
ballgame.
So, but I mean,
Housing? Oh my gosh. I'm like currently looking at a house I really want. It's like a big farmhouse with 20 acres. If someone does want to hire me, I will leave my job. Just buy me that house. That's all I want. I'll send you the listing if you want me to work for you.
it's important to have a wish
Look,
list.
she's telling you all on
and
the
a
call.
vision.
She's ready to go. Just get her a
I'm
house.
ready to go. That's all I want. Just the house fully paid for.
Your new campus
Yeah.
director. She can do it all too.
Yeah, my
You
boss
can
is
put
an
the campus
entrepreneur.
on your
That's all.
property, and then you can just work from home.
Right,
Full
right.
work from home.
I love it. I love it. Guys, this has been so fun. Listen, we have a few minutes left. If y'all have questions, please pop them in the chat. In the future, if people want to work with you all, what are the benefits to working with an agency like you guys? And how much are you free? No, you're not free. You guys got it. You have both.
It's a huge
That's the
benefit.
Number one, you get to work with these fun
Super
girls.
fun.
Not
Super
boring.
fun, yeah.
I
we do this every day. It's what we do. It's just like,
Yeah.
if you want to learn how to weld, you're not going to beauty school. You're going to go to people who do that every day. So same thing
We
here. Like,
specialize.
we specialize in this, and we only do the education industry. So, like, we've been doing it for 22 years. We know a lot of people. We have a lot of connections.
And then I think another very important piece is it gives you back your time, right?
Mhm.
Because if you're hiring, you're posting more than likely on Indeed or LinkedIn, and then you get everyone and anyone who's applying to anything.
A sandwich
right?
artist.
Yes,
a
lot of sandwich artists who applied for admissions reps.
Right.
People who want to be director of education. Oh, well, I taught a yoga class.
Right.
These are the things you get when you
Right.
post an ad.
You can you could be training your team. You could be,
Focusing on the culture.
focusing on what needs to happen in
Right.
your school versus focusing on looking through resumes and trying to find different people. We're going to give you people who know what the job is, know about the school, want the job, and then you only have to talk to 2 or 3 people versus sifting through 50 resumes to find that unicorn in there.
We've already done the hard work. We've vetted them for you, and we know they have an interest. They've done our homework. They've gotten back to us. We've taken a look. We're like, okay, at this point, it should be more of just a culture fit than anything else by the time we send them to you.
Right. They should be qualified for
You should be able to find someone. And yes, there's a fee associated with it, but not having time to manage the people on your campus is costing you more money than what
you are.
Right.
And honestly, and like you said, you guys do long-term fits. So
Right.
any sort of investment that it does cost to find someone, you should not have to be doing this in another year. It should be that same person. I just put into the chat the website of these ladies and their agency, so you can get a hold of them there. I love your homepage. Tired of interviewing a bunch of bozos? That's funny. Like, you guys are funny.
We try to be funny.
It's cutesy, and I really like it. Before we go, we did not give salary ranges for instructors. What are you all seeing in the Cosmos space? Instructors being paid?
I haven't done enough of them to give you a realist. I don't want to make something up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really know.
If you're an owner on this call, you can add in the chat for this. I talked to a school last week that pays her instructors $30 an hour. That is high. That's on the high end. She does 30 to 34 because she doesn't want to lose them. She's like, once I hire them, I want to keep them forever.
Right.
I've heard, yeah, I've heard anywhere from like 16 to 26. Like it's kind of really all over the board, depending on experience. But if you want someone to stay in that role, I would say over $30 an hour.
Yeah, I mean, our HVAC
Absolutely.
and welding is between 20 and 30, I would say, and the one like 23 to like 30 is
Yeah,
high.
and-
30 is high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So same,
30 is high.
similar. Yeah.
And the owner I talked to, by the way, I mean, oh my gosh, it was one of my recent guests who runs aesthetic schools, and she was like, I pay them a lot, and I take them on an annual trip because I want to go home and be with my kids. I don't want to have to think about what's going on. I pay them well, so I can just trust them and leave them at the school.
Yeah.
The trust
I mean, the trusting. Yeah, that's a big thing. And that makes them feel good about what they're doing. Valued.
Yeah. That's all goes back to culture. I want to thank you, ladies. I had to beg them to come on this. Beg them.
Thank you for making it so fun.
Thank you. Yes, it's super
This
fun.
was fun.
I
really
really
enjoyed hanging out.
our list of we've done a webinar now.
You have done a webinar now. And before we started this, we all talked about we're all going to get neck lifts together. So next time you see us, maybe in a couple of years,
We're gonna look
10
really
years
good.
younger.
Yeah.
snatched. They won't even recognize us, quite frankly.
It'll be amazing.
They'll be like, does your mom run that company? I saw her on a webinar. This was fun, you guys. Thank you all so much. Merry Christmas. I know we're like the end of the year. Yeah. Happy holidays, everyone. Thanks, guys. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye,
Bye-bye.